in April of 2018, the Trump administration intentionally, talking about Trump, intentionally separated thousands of migrant children from their parents at the southern border in an aggressive attempt to discourage family crossings. You may remember this. And the policy caused lasting trauma and drew widespread condemnation. If you remember, they were taking families who were crossing with children and taking children and putting them in one detention and taking mothers and fathers and putting them in a separate detention. Now, the New York Times has reported that it's become clear that a number of U.S. citizen children were also removed from their parents under the zero tolerance policy, in which migrant parents were criminally prosecuted and jailed for crossing the border without authorization. Most of the children involved were born in the United States to immigrant parents who then went back to their home countries but returned due to a worsening economy and gang violence. According to lawyers and immigrant advocates who are working with the government to find the families, hundreds and possibly as many as 1,000 children born to immigrant parents in the United States were removed from them at the border. In many cases, these U.S. citizen children were placed into foster care, and even to this day, 5 years later, have yet to be reunited with their parents. Paige Chan, executive director of the nonprofit Together and Free, who has been working with the federal task force charged to finding separated families, said, "We don't even know where these parents are today and whether or not they even know where their children are." Some 5,500 foreign-born children were already known to have been separated from their parents under this policy. Legal analysts said U.S. citizen children separated under this policy that did not have additional rights that would have prevented them from being taken from their parents who were jailed. In fact, it may have put them at a disadvantage. Their status as citizens automatically placed them under the oversight of state child welfare authorities, complicating efforts to track them and reconnect them with their parents. Foreign-born children were transferred to shelters operated by the Federal Office of Refugee Resettlement, where they were entered into federal databases and eventually allowed to speak with their parents by telephone. But there was no such system for children sent to state foster care systems, because if you cross over with your child and your child was a U.S. citizen, your child's not going to go to immigration detention. Your child's going to go straight to foster care. And you, the parent, went to immigration detention. And state foster care and federal immigration detention, they ain't talking. And that's why you have now over 1,000 U.S. citizen children who have no idea where their parents are. The situation became even more difficult when parents were deported. Carlos Hogan, a lawyer who has represented thousands of migrant children in federal custody, said, "If a state judge decided against returning a child to a migrant parent and no U.S. citizen was available, the child may be placed in foster care until he or she reaches 18 years of age." Very, very sad. Thanks for watching. For more Bradshaw Live, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.